What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show, and the buying season is officially upon us. It is January, which means people are looking at the motorcycles stored in their garage and deciding which ones are going on the chopping block. Which motorcycles are they getting rid of so they can put a fancy new 2024 in one of these spots here. However, while you're at home searching through Craigslist, thinking about which motorcycle you want to pick up, I know you're definitely thinking about what mods you need to do. Now I want you to pump the brakes, because while you're budgeting out that exhaust for a motorcycle you don't already own yet, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not gonna make that much of a difference. So instead today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over 5 mods that you can do to any motorcycle to make it feel factory fresh, even if it's got 50,000 miles on the clock. Now we're gonna skip the wordy preambles and get right into it today because there's a lot that I wanna cover. And the first thing is tires. Even if the person's Craigslist ad says that this tire has plenty of tread left on it, plenty of life left in it, you don't know how long it's been sitting in his garage, you don't know the born-on date of this tire, and you don't know what shape it's in. For example, this Michelin Road 5 that is on the Hornet right here, this tire has a born-on date of 16/21, 16th week of 2021, which means that this is well within its lifespan. However, just because it's within a few years of the born-on date doesn't mean that the tire's still in good shape. A lot can happen to a tire in a couple of years that can kill it. First of all, if it has been sitting with low pressure, you can develop a lot of flat spots in the tire that create uneven wear. The way that your tire connects the bike to the ground is the most important contact point on the entire motorcycle. So if this feels like ass, the bike is not gonna ride well. That's why over there on the F4i, I have swapped in a set of Rosso 4s, which were like $500 worth of rubber. You don't need to go that crazy. You can get good tires for like $300 for the set and have great feeling road tires. I just decided to go with super fast boy rubber because I'm overcompensating for something, I guess. The long and the short is, no matter what the ad says about the tires on the motorcycle, you need to visually inspect them and make sure they're actually still good. And I would budget between $300 and $400 for a new set of tires just in case. The second thing on today's list is going to come to us courtesy from this video's sponsor, and that's Quad Lock. But I'm not just talking about a phone mount. That's the easy answer. The right answer is an SAE lead. And you might be wondering, what's Quad Lock doing making SAE leads? We'll talk about that in a second. For those of you who don't know, an SAE lead is just a simple wire that you plug onto your battery, and this can be plugged into a whole bunch of other things. Most importantly, a battery tender, because if you're gonna let your bike sit, say, over winter, you're probably going to want to put one of these on so when springtime rolls around and you want to go out for that first ride of the season, you don't come out to a dead battery. You can get one of these at your local Cycle Gear for like $5. They're crazy stupid cheap. However, if you're smart, you'll click the link down in the description below and pick yourself up one of these Quad Lock 12-volt adapters, because these things have a smart on-off feature. And I have one of these on all of my bikes. Installing an SAE lead on your bike is so easy, a brain-injured chimpanzee on downers can get the job done. It's literally just 2 screws, but don't be fooled into thinking that just because it's easy, it's not useful. Especially when you pair it with the Quad Lock 12-volt smart adapter, which is the easiest way to add USB power to a bike that may not have it stock. It's a smart adapter because in the auto mode, it turns on and off with your bike's ignition. So say for example, you run a GPS unit that gets its power from the USB port. If you turn your bike off with a normal one, it'll keep running and drain your battery. With this, that won't happen. It's also a great way to charge your phone while you're out for a ride. If you're looking to add USB power to any of your bikes that don't have it from stock, I cannot recommend this thing highly enough. Number 3 is a potentially free mod, depending on which route you choose, and that is to set up your suspension. On just about every motorcycle under the sun, you are going to have some form of adjustability in your suspension. Most basic bikes just come with preload, but a lot of fancier models will come with rebound and compression as well as preload at the front end of the motorcycle. Now, I know what you're sitting there thinking. You're thinking, well, I've ridden a ton of different motorcycles and some of them have fully adjustable suspension and I've never played with it and it felt great. And you're totally right. A lot of suspensions right out of the box are going to feel good for most riders. The factory settings on a lot of bikes, they're fine. However, if you're getting a bike used from somebody who may have set it up for them, if you want your bike to feel as good as possible, you're going to want to set it up for your exact weight. Now, there's a few ways to go about this. The first resource is going to be your owner's manual. If you have preload only, they'll usually give you a setting matched with a weight range, and if you have fully adjustable suspension, they'll give you those rebound and compression values as well. The problem is that this is a ballpark figure, and it won't be exactly what you're looking for. If you want to do this yourself, I highly recommend checking out Dave Moss's videos here on YouTube, where he walks you through exactly how to set up your suspension. This is a valuable skill and something well worth adding to your mental toolkit. However, my brain is too packed full of trivia about early 90s action movies to accommodate any more facts, so I take my bikes to my local suspension expert. If you're in the Austin area or attend track days in Central Texas, make sure you swing by Roger at On-Road Off-Road. For $50 cash, he'll set you up ready to rock and roll in just a few minutes. If you're not in Central Texas though, check out your local rider groups. I promise you every town has their own suspension guru. Now, if I had a nickel for every single time I got on a bike that had aftermarket levers and thought, wow, these things are really awesome, I should get a set of these for my bikes, I would have no nickels, because there is no excuse for using aftermarket levers on any motorcycle ever, 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 ever. These are terrible. So at number 4, I would suggest getting a set of replacement levers for your bike. Get as close to OEM as humanly possible. These things cost $11 and they feel better than any aftermarket lever on the planet. I guarantee it.
Levers are stupid easy to install, which is part of the reason why so many people opt for the awful aftermarket levers. And not to belabor this particular point, but no universal part should ever go on your motorcycle. You really want exact fits only. That's why the levers feel so bad, but that's besides the point. You only need to undo 2 bolts, one per side, and pop the levers off, and then just slap the new ones on. While you've got it out though, this is a great time to clean and lube that pivot point. I use cable lube, but any silicone lube will get the job done. After you mount them up, check 2 things. First, that your brake light still turns on when you pull the brake lever, and make sure that you set the free play for your clutch lever. If it was really badly adjusted, this is a great time to use that coarse adjuster down by the clutch case and get it perfect. It really does make a huge difference in how your bike rides.
Now, the astute among you will notice that both of these levers, while they look OEM, one is chrome and one is brushed. That's because I'm a millennial with no patience, a YouTube channel, and an access to a credit card. If you're actually going to do it right, you should just wait and get a set of matching levers. I actually do have a matching chrome one, but it didn't fit. That's what happens when you buy stuff from eBay. However, this is also what happens when you buy stuff from eBay, and these levers are absolutely trash. The only place they belong is in the garbage bucket. And I will not change my mind on this. The last thing on the list today, this one is a total wild card, and I'm leaving it up to you, but do something that changes the aesthetic of the motorcycle. Do something that makes it more what you want this bike to be. If you wanted to run this bike without fairings, take the fairings off. If you wanted to put new lights on here so that you don't have the big OEM bulbous lights on there, do that. If you're gonna put levers on here that aren't the stock ones, I'm sorry, but we're not gonna be friends. There are so many ways to improve the way that your motorcycle runs and rides, changing your chain, changing your tires, changing the fluids, all of that stuff. But that's just basic maintenance, and it doesn't feel very fun. It's not very satisfying, so give yourself a simple project on the bike. Give yourself a simple project on the motorcycle, something that you can do in an hour or 2 that allows you to wrench on it and make it feel like it's yours. That is what makes bikes fun for me. when I get a new motorcycle and I can tear it apart and put something new on, like fancy blinkers. That's usually the first mod I actually go for. I love putting blinkers on motorcycles. Or if you want to do something practical, grab yourself a tail bag. This one right here is the Nelson Rig Commuter, which I actually really enjoy. This is the medium size one. And I rotate this from bike to bike just because it's super convenient to not have to wear a backpack, especially on a bike where I'm leaned forward. If you want to pick one of these up, by the way, there is a link down in the description below. You'll get 25% off if you use the code SPITE. Giving yourself an excuse to get in the garage and do something beyond basic maintenance is actually really, really rewarding. Just remember, if you are going to be modifying your motorcycle, keep the stock parts and never, ever hack up the actual wiring harness. If you take off the blinkers and you want to keep that connector, don't take the connector off the wiring harness. Take it off the light you just removed from the motorcycle. And with that, guys, I'm gonna call it a day here. There's a ton of stuff I could have put in this video, but I only selected 5. So let me know down below, what are some of the easiest mods you like to do to your motorcycle? Are you a heated grips guy like me, or do you like to do smoked windshields and fancy silly mirrors off of Amazon? Let me know down in the comments below, and while you're down there, don't forget to check out Quad Lock for all of your phone mount needs, and a huge shout out to them for sponsoring the channel. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.